Yo, what's up, fam? It's been a while. As you can see, the game board has been cleared. If you're seeing this, you have passed. Oh, man. Sit down in my space. Wow. I feel like suddenly I'm in the sun or something. It's just so refreshing. And I want to ceremonially take a drink. And take a bite with consideration to what was before, what was then, and what is now. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Not bad. Not bad. So hell yeah. But man, it's been a while since I've been able to sit right here and kind of meditate, feel like I'm utilizing the fullness of my system as competition, as it should be. The system I've set up is the shot for me, and the only thing I can do is be the shot for it. But yeah, I just cleared the game board. Finally, kind of feel like the space can breathe again a little bit. We have space. Man, there was quite a bit that all of a sudden seemed to show up surrounding it, but whether it was the ward I placed or just how towards this thing was, because in that span of time, nothing touched anything, a particle of anything right here. Absolutely not a zilch. Delicio. But the entirety of this whole room has changed, and my room and everything has changed except for this, basically. So I made sure to kind of recognize that, and I'm recognizing the moment when I've now dismantled everything, so we can kind of get back into the flow of things a little bit here. Kind of had one thing that I wanted to talk about. I've been doing these interactions, these live interactions with people, right? And Kendall, one of my lifelong friends, is back in town again, and we went on a walk and talked a lot about politics and life, and kind of the lowest voltage that I was able to perceive, which perhaps can be the mightiest sense of power, though, was this idea of patterns. And he began talking about kind of like, because he's lived in Egypt, and talking about these different religions coming up from the pharaonic religion and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh yeah, well, it's just all patterns, harmony, balance kind of thing. And I ended up saying something to the extent of, like, what is everybody really trying to do? What are they all trying to figure out? What is this? Like, this is what's going on in this life. This is what's going on in the afterlife. This is what's going on in your side lives. And then we ask, how many wives, kind of thing, right? Or do you have Wi-Fi? Because, internet trumps all. Even the multiverse. Because as soon as you got that, it's like it's all the same game anyways. But I then said, well, you know what? If it really is about patterns, because all people are doing when they're trying to say these elaborate ideas as to what life is, they're just operating off of some semblance of prediction based on patterns, right? It's like when you're a kid in school and you go and it's like, oh, here's a frog. Oh, here's a flower. Here's a frog. Here's a flower. Here's a frog. What comes next? Well, I'm going to tell you something. Guess what? We're no longer in class. There is no teacher. You can put whatever the fuck you want next after that sequence. You can do it. Because what is real balance? What is real? Realness accepts anything because it's real. That's how you know it's real. And that's how you know that there's real balance, perhaps, too, because it means that you actually truly believe in balance, which means that you can put all your energy into one thing because you believe in balance. You believe that balance always will be. There's no way to be unbalanced. So you can do the extreme. That's balance, baby. Be extreme. Anyways, you got to be able to balance, though, because balance is the idea that all power comes from somewhere or goes to someone else at some point in time, right? But if you're good at balancing, you can show any power that you're in line with it to a degree at a certain scale. And if power tries to, let's say, take your power, ultimately all it will be doing is taking its own power because you're a part of the circuit. There's some small things in a circuit, which, if we're going off of patterns, is usually how we recognize and realize and actualize power. So yeah, I then kind of said something to the extent of, well, we can basically do whatever we want because it's balance, because of pattern, because of harmony. Harmony exists. We can do whatever we want. It's like saying we cannot destroy harmony. Harmony always exists. It doesn't matter what we do. So we can do whatever we want. We don't have to be harmonious because we can't touch harmony. We can't. There's no freaking way we can be harmonious, dog. And like, one more thing. Really, if you're in a place where you're able to make those decisions, and you're going to create the question as to how you can be so diversified in your range, at some point in time, you do create the problem or the issue that the expression of something that realizes no pattern or no harmony will be like coming up upon death. Meaninglessness, basically, which is death ultimately, right? And that has to do with the psychology behind being able to balance basically crazed action and have it be shown, and be able to balance perfect action and have it be shown. As soon as you're able to do those things and basically have, let's say a wingspan of these ideas, then you basically created a problem with how you can do that, because people will be saying that there's no possible way that you can be that crazy but then also do this. Because that's what runs our society anyways, is you can't be that crazy and do this. We aren't fully fledged people. We live in a caste-based society where people only do one thing and one thing only, and that's how it works. Well, we of course know that if we go to the point of where things are ultimately meaningless, then we come across death. And then so that at that point in time, we know that life is harmony. All of a sudden, life is harmony. We don't have to be the bad guy. We don't have to be all edgy and whatever. We know that life is harmony because we came to the place where we knew what death was. We experienced it. It was tangible for us. We could taste it. We could feel it. We saw it. It attacked us. It even hurt us. It took us to the edge of what we think we could actually even endure. So we know, and now we're afraid, but we know now that life is harmony. Life has patterns. But maybe now we can see beyond even all these patterns that everybody else is seeing. We can see things with like a dead eye. Talk about redeeming the red eye. And we know what patterns really matter. We can allow some chaos. We can allow some characters that are fully fledged because ultimately it's better like that. Whoa, somebody trying to interrupt me. Got some food in my mouth. Not yet, but I could. Because I could do anything. But how much meaninglessness do I really want there to be for me to say that harmony exists, that harmony oppresses me? Harmony's the bad guy now, you see, because harmony wants to tell me what my life is. But maybe true harmony then, we've taken this to the idea of the first harmony, which maybe is just light then. It itself really doesn't even know. The first harmony, where does it even go? The first pattern, you see, the first of all things is really a problem to not only me. And you see, I've kind of done this odd way of being able to be like a jack, the lowest of the low, but I can crank it up to the highest of the high, baby. And I can really take a lot of weight with me along the way. And I can make it easy for someone else because really all it is just me sitting here in the say. You know, you can do the same thing with like meaning in life, right? Because ultimately we just want things to have meaning. But if we knew that our choices really mattered, then you choose the right choice. Basically, you just choose to be the good guy, handsome and smart, polite, with pleasure, gratitude, manners, proper form, and very constructive. All easy, all the right choices. But are they only the right choices when choice actually matters? What does that mean then? Maybe choice isn't the only thing that matters then. Maybe it's beyond even that. Maybe it's about give and take, tides and flows, all these other words they still know. Maybe God's idea, you see, isn't necessarily one word. It's all the words, incomprehensibly. Life is what life is, like we let it go. They say life is like that, though. But I can tell you one thing. I do not see anybody else, nor hear anybody else say things in such a wide variety as me so many times, so you can see that even if I'm dead, my spirit still lives on. It is a skill I have. I dare say it is a skill I have. Whether it was before, what will it become, but now, it is a skill I have. I have quite the way with words.